What's up? How we doing?
What is going on? Happy Friday. Oh,
Dude, you got your Jordan flu game going on this week.
yeah, I'm not Jordan, but definitely got the flu. So, there's that. But I'm here. So, happy Friday, y'all. What's poppin'? What's going on in your world?
Oh man, been a wild week. I mean, every week's a wild week, but it's been 60 degrees out for the last few days in Columbus, Ohio, which is a nice thing. I've gone outside maybe for 10 minutes, so that's maybe not as good of a thing. But it's been great, man. I'm excited about our new community in Kajabi. I'm excited about the way the new modules look, the course, the 13-week assignments, all the work that you put in, Christina's put in, and the whole team. That's starting to come together and look really good. Just like everything on the back, like just hearing some of the testimonials that we got coming through. I'm excited to share some of those videos, just the progress everyone made the last few months in the program. It's just going to another level. And I've had some great talks with other recruiter coaches, and just there's some fun collabs going on there. And just kind of talking to a lot of people that are kind of curious about how to start the agency. And I think there's a lot of stuff flying out there. So I wanted to cover, some context today about and kind of breaking some of those myths, right? And kind of dialing it back to the basics, the fundamentals of what's actually going to progress your recruiting desk or your agency. And what do you need to just really get going and build momentum? Because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. That's the first thing that matters. So that's what's going on, man, over here.
Well, could we start by feeding the ducks, and maybe I'll
we got Bradley, we got Riley. What's up? If you're here, let us know in the chat. I want to see, hear what you guys got going on. If you're here, if you got questions, you guys have
what cup of coffee are you on? 3
wins for the week?
4, I've 5,
at least 5, maybe
6.
Yeah. My wife brought me a nice little latte too that has a few shots of espresso. I'm fired up right now. I'm fired up.
And hey, then go with it, because I'm on my.
Dude, we're good. No, I got you. I know everyone's used to Kevin carrying this thing, but people don't know. People don't know. It might be time to know. Kevin's not the only one. The only one with some energy.
It's always easier when you start feeding the ducks.
Dude, you got to feed the ducks. Dude, my son slept a lot better the last few nights. So we're feeling it. He's crawling. He's teething. We're going to Gymboree tomorrow. He's going to show off all his new moves. Life is good. We're pumped. Dude, we're going to be in Miami in a couple weeks. Things are good. I'll turn it down.
All right. It's getting better. Bradley.
Oh, we're getting Friday. Kevin ramped up. Guys, in the comments, I need you. Let's get Kevin ramped up. Have him chug his coffee. We're going to talk about some cool stuff today. Making more placements, building an agency, keeping tech stack lean. You don't need an office to get your recruiting agency started. Come on. What are we doing here? All right. As a reminder, how do you do it all in recruiting? Connect, content, calls every single day. Every single day. I want to give that reminder. All right. You good?
All right. I'm good.
The jumping jacks. I need the standing desk. I'm going. We're going up.
All right, I'm doing more jumping jacks while he's doing that. I need to wake up, y'all. I need to wake up. How many of y'all get y'all body moving in the mornings when you need to wake up? Y'all need to get moving, get walking.
You're like Richard Simmons.
I feel more alive because my heart's pumping. Whew, okay. What are we doing today, Clark? Why are we here? No, it's joking. Just joking, y'all. We already did that.
We're going to talk the common myths about building an agency. I want people to put their questions in the chat. If you have anything related, sales content, you guys have been here for a few weeks now. You've seen us. We're happy to answer kind of anything that you got going on about your LinkedIn profile, about content, about sales questions. Throw them in the chat, whatever you want us to cover. But I really want to cover some of the common myths about building an agency. I've been doing this 2.5 years now, digital recruiter. doing digital marketing for a few years before that, but as at Aerotech for 5 years, did some telecom sales. So I kind of dabbled in a lot of it. And I guess for those that you don't know me, here I'll put this on the stage right now. So I've seen a lot, right? I've messed up a lot, had some successes. It's easy to overcomplicate everything. It's easy to think that you don't have the ability to start your own business or to launch or go off on your own. Been a string of layoffs the last year or so. Recruiters have gotten hit hard, and so I talk to people. I still have beat the ducks on, don't I? So I've talked to so many of you out there, producers, owners, getting into recruiting, been in recruiting and starting their own agency, had their agency before, never doing it again. And like I've been there. Aerotech, I was good. I was not great there by any means. I was trending upwards, but it took me a long time to even get a good spot. And by the end of it, I was like, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. The commissions are pennies compared to the work that I'm putting in. So I'm going to go on my own and figure it out. And I know that's what a lot of people want to do. What I've been hearing in the last few weeks, or really the last couple of years, I got to get a recruiter seat. I got to get Zoom info, 10,000 there, 20,000 there. 30, the whole team needs it. And I just want everyone to kind of chill and stop and think this through. I'm going to create some more collateral around this, Kevin. But
stop right there real fast, because we've all been there. We've all been trying to build something, and what happens? You face a wall and you need an answer. And you wake up every day and you're like, man, like you lack direction, right? You wake up every day, you're just not sure exactly what to do. And so, like most, right, shiny new object, you hear about this text, this piece of tech that's automating this or making this part easy or this part right. But the problem is usually it's in here, right? It's not, it has nothing to do with anything else. It's that it's like a lack of confidence, or it's a lack of it's a lack of something internal that's allowing you to see that you have all that you need in front of you, or internal, right? And all that tech is going to do is just accentuate what it's going to give you another week of direction, and then you're going to use that, and then you're going to come to the point where it doesn't work for you anymore, and then boom, you're back to it. And it's because it's sales, it's foundational pieces, it's human psychology that you're missing.
It's a huge part of it. And it really is. I mean, we had a great call with a digital recruiter, like someone that bought the course yesterday, and it was the concepts of media apply. What she said, like it was like I bought other courses, but none of them have like gone this deep into the how to, right, to get it done. And that's Timothy. There he is. Eric, what's up? I love this comment, right? Aerospace sales, healthcare recruiting. Eric, I can only imagine the stories you have of trying to figure out getting the reps and trying to figure it all out, right? Because it's like, okay, I got aerospace sales down. You get to healthcare recruiting. How hard can recruiting be? And it's just, what in the world is happening? These managers, it's things that this should be so simple, they're screwing up because, as Kevin said, it is just human psychology. We are inherently flawed. And that doesn't mean that we're bad or anything like that. It just is. Like, communication is hard, and people are simple but also impossible at the same time. And it's just embracing the nuance and not taking so much. Don't put all that on yourself, right? And it just kind of, what do we say? Like the let it go. The like that just don't care as much, right? The old Jay Cutler, right? When he's got the sunglasses and the whatever he's smoking, right? The old Chicago Bears quarterback. They're like, just don't care, right? Like, care less about the external stuff and more on what you can control. And a lot of that comes down to just listening and taking a deep breath and finding the right mentors, and just like, what have people that are where you want to be, what are they doing, right? Really paying attention to that piece of it. And that's the common thing, is that people get suckered in. I'm not going to get sold to. I'm not going to get sold to. And the next thing you know, an impulse buy, something happens, they make an emotional decision, and they're 30K in the hole to Zoom info when they only need $200 of tools, $200 a month in tools to actually make their first six figures or first $500,000.
Well, the larger piece to all this is a lot of times because of social media and the way that we were grown to understand, we believe that there are people out there that know more than us about us.
Yeah.
For instance, right? So to all the people that are thinking about going it on their own, you've worked with other agency owners in the past, perhaps they're making millions upon millions of dollars, right? And so in your brain, you're like, oh, they know exactly what they're doing. They've got it all figured out, right? And 9 times out of 10, that's like the exact opposite of the truth. Is they actually don't have it all together. Some do, of course, but there's a great many that, just because there's a big number figure there has nothing to do with like their actual abilities. And so, like, just going back to the conversation we had with with the person yesterday that we were able to discuss with, um, just in the process of what we're talking about, you needing more tools. There's got to be a self reflection of like, do I know sales and recruiting? Right? Like, do I know those foundational pieces? And if you know, and we going back, like if you understand that people buy things for emotional reasons and rationalize that emotional decision after, like if you understand those kind of human psychology principles, then you don't need that agency owner. You don't need all these additional tools because you literally have the foundational pieces of how you're going to sell, market yourself, message, how you're going to optimize your profile. Everything you have is right there.
Yeah, you're spot on. We're going to go into the emotional buying a little bit more because I think people want a little bit more clarity on that. But to give an example, you need this is why if you got the niche, right? This is vertical. It's why you can't be all things to everyone because your cold market isn't going to understand or believe you, one of the two or both, right? If you're one person trying to do all the things, right? Own what you're great at. Own the placements that you've made, and for some people it's agricultural or accounting and finance, all that. When someone gives that to me and like they kind of like this is what I want to focus on, I'm like go all in, make it happen, and you got it because there is more than enough room in the playground for someone to niche down, post content, do outreach, be understand the manager, understand their pain points. There is such a lack of that. And you got to just understand your competition is blowing it on a daily basis. Right. So
Well,
all you got to figure out is how not to blow it.
and
Yeah.
if you understand their pain points, and we talk about this all the time. If you understand their pain points, then you can create your unique value proposition around their pain point. So again, if their pain point is a deliverable, right? They need more qualified candidates. Then your unique value proposition, the one thing that's going to make you stand out is that you can get them more qualified candidates in less time than their competition. So it's being able to match the two.
It's it. And like tactically, how does that look? Right. Well, then I got to get recruiter. I need my in-mails. No, you don't. We're proving with our team. We're using some sales nav, some automation, 52% connection rate with engineers, 30% with project managers. Even the stuff that gets 10%, it's so targeted and built that the responses are getting us a few submittals that we need, and we're good to go. Right. So from a candidate sourcing perspective, you can use some of that, build a great database of people you're talking to. You only need 10 to 20 great candidates to be able to kind of flip to hiring managers, right? And then do some strategic stuff with Sales Navigator and basic LinkedIn and searching jobs. And then it's a messaging thing, it's a profile thing, right? All those pieces come together. I've mentioned $180 worth of tools. You can use Google Sheets for your freaking ATS for the first 6 months to 12 months, especially if you're solo, right? It's not that hard to track. And then you get level up to an ATS and it can teach you on how to actually vet out those systems. I know some great people that run ATS companies that they can migrate everything for you for like $1,000, $2,000. But at that point, your margins are so ridiculous that you're going to want to pay them because you're going to want to have some write-offs because the recruiting margins are so insane. It's just an order of operations. But I think what it really comes down to, what I've been feeling, what I've been seeing, is a fear. It's maybe a lack of confidence, a fear of just kind of the sales process and not being sleazy. And I'm here to tell you, if you bid on the phones, you've gone reps with the candidates, you've worked through some placements, like you have value to bring. Hiring managers don't have either they don't have the knowledge or don't have the time. And so if you put that time in, or if you're starting out and you do put that time in, you can build such an asset base in just 2 to 3 months that you immediately have value, right? And 99% of you listen to this already, I'm sure, have a ton of value. already to offer companies and hiring managers. It's just bringing that out. Like, what is that? What does that look like? How to display it and how to own it in your conversations and the messaging and all the variance nuance that's there. But it's not about more tools. It's just about learning the art, right? With the science of recruiting does not need to be expensive in terms of the tools. It's the art of recruiting that takes a lifetime to master. And we won't master it in this lifetime, but that's where the money's made. And I think that's what people don't admit to themselves is I got to learn the art of recruiting. That should have been the title of this episode, by the way. I see if I can switch it. But like that is truly, I think what I see people need to embrace, right? As SaaS and all that stuff, but it's the art that you got to figure out.
So the art, so go back to that emotional thing, right? Let's tie it to the art of recruiting, okay? Because it is an art. And art, what is art? Art is, let's just go to the portrait, right? Let's go to the PFP, the picture, the art, right? That you see on the wall. What does that thing do? It creates emotion in the person that loves it, right? It creates a feeling, right? That's the same as your recruiting, your art. The art of recruiting should create a feeling, right? When people try to sell to you, okay, think about the Mercedes-Benz website, and then think about the way that we teach sales, okay? On a Mercedes-Benz website or any website of any car or any kind of product, right? What they do at the top of the page, right where the first place you're going to look, okay, is they talk about all these things that are going to bring emotions out in you, right? They'll talk about how fast the BMW is, how efficient it is, how beautiful and immaculate the inside is, whether it's buttery, soft, snake skin seats, and that you have 8 more inches of leg room, and now you can, right? Okay, so they're really getting you with all the emotion and then at the very bottom, right, after they tell you how fast it goes and how amazing and all this, at the very bottom they put 37 MPGs, right? It's because they want you to get a feeling. They want you to get bought in at the top so that at the bottom you can rationalize your decision for buying. Yeah. It's the same thing with content, with messaging, with whatever we do. We try to, with the hook, right? Think of a hook in an email, a hook in a subject line, a hook in a message, right? We're trying to capture that emotional appeal to them. This is how we teach it. And then we help rationalize that with facts, right? So even our brand here with Digital Recruiter, we're telling you, this is exactly what we teach. And we teach you the emotions of it because we know that's what's going to help you be the best recruiter you can be. And then we're going to tell you about all the facts of all the people that we've helped that look just like you, because we want to help you rationalize that decision.
That's it. It's simple. It's hard to execute. It's hard to stay persistent because you get in your own head.
That's right.
And it's so easy. I mean, I think that's probably the biggest value we have as coaches, right? It's just helping people get out of their own head, right? Because you can buy the course and there's a ton of good stuff in there, but working with us live and all that, like we see it, right? We transform the story that you've been telling yourself in your head on an hour coaching call, 90-minute coaching call, right? It happened the other day, Kevin. You made it happen. It took all the 3 months. And the digital recruiter member was just like, if it wasn't for the 3 months of learning, this wouldn't have made sense what you just said to me. But I had to get there, right? It was a rite of passage. And for him, learning the content and branding, upping his skill set, now he's armed with a powerful weapon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of like, he knows what to do on LinkedIn with the hooks, the formatting, what to say, how to frame it, how to edit his own post, right? How to read it out loud, when the call to action should be, there should be a call to action, and just be able to kind of like fire off that post, right? Well, who knows what that could lead to?
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that person would have known that they would have needed to sit with their pain long enough and like before they were able to figure it out if they hadn't gone through those 3 months? Like no BS. Like if they hadn't gone through 3 months of sitting with us, talking about the emotions, talking about the human psychology piece of it, would they have even known that they had to sit with that pain before they had to figure their way out of it?
No. And that's what I think was so hard to grasp around for people around. Well, why would I get like coaching? Like it's almost like too abstract. Like I know how to recruit. I know how to sell. Yeah.
right?
Yes,
I
but
can
why
write.
do people?
I
Why
don't need
do?
you to write.
But why do people have coaches? Why do writers have editors? Right? Like, really think that through. Right? With the best people, what is their? How do they go about it? Because what he decided to do with digital crew members that have, especially the ones that have success, they take a step back and they're honed in. I'm gonna make time for this. An hour a week, 90 minutes on the content calls. And I'm just gonna engage and I'm gonna try to figure it out. I'm gonna try to have the dots connect because if I can learn this piece, what could that unlock for my business? And even if I'm fighting it at the beginning and I don't quite get it, I'm gonna keep showing up until it kind of clicks. And I'm not gonna get negative right away, but I'm just gonna like keep like fighting to learn and fighting to understand, if you will, even if it's like hard and all that. Like, don't run away and throw on Netflix or whatever. Like, engage in this because the magic. I mean, I've seen people, 4 months in, right? The case study we have, Rachel Brown, she eclipsed her previous year total in 1 month, in month 4 of the digital recruiter. She showed up at every call, always ask questions, engage with other people. You took advantage of all the coaches. Like, that's what it was. And it was just taking a step back and like, okay, I can just go and do my job to talk to candidates and do clients and like do it the like regular way people fall into in recruiting, right? But like, I want to be better. And you got to work, like
You,
you got to
you
fight to be better.
you know what it is, dude? When you do it the old school traditional way, you're just always guessing. You're always on your back
Yes.
foot. You're always on your back foot. You're never, it feels like you're like, I'm a basketball player. Okay. So when I got the basketball in my hands and I'm about to make a move, I'm doing it so I have the other person react to what I'm going to do. Right. I shouldn't be reacting to what the defense is doing. Right. Right. Because if I'm reacting to what he's doing, he's got me. They need to be reacting to what I'm doing. So that's taking okay, there you go. That's taking that control back.
That's how you're proactive. Connect, content, call. Proactive every single day, making it happen. Right? If you're not doing these things at a bare minimum, right? This is how you can be on the offense. It doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. It doesn't matter if you have one crappy client and that's it. If you do these things, you're going to always be working on getting that next great client. Right. And like, that's what Kevin's talking about. And it was all that practice, Kevin, right? Like, then you internalize and it just almost feels automatic. But dude, how much practice, how much work, how much trial and error did it take to get you there?
Well, that's it. Trial and error. I'm unafraid. I'm unafraid to try a message. I'm unafraid to try to connect with somebody in a way that I think might work. I'm unafraid to connect with somebody. I'm unafraid to do research on somebody. I'm unafraid to disagree and commit with somebody on a call. Like, hey, I don't agree with what you're saying, but here's what, in my experience, right? And I'm unafraid to be the consultant and the expert that these people need because they're on a call because they need help, right? 9 times out of 10, if you're on a call with somebody on the other side, it's because you sent a message where there's probably like somebody's helping somebody else. And if you're on the side where you're the helper, then own that and be the helper. The more you hedge yourself on that call, the more you're like, the more they are going to hedge and be like, too. So I just feel like, so much of this process, and we talk about back to confidence, right? That's as coaches, that's the permission we give people, is to be confident out there in what you are and who you are and how you got to understand what you got to understand. Just like the person we were talking to yesterday. Like it was all there. It was just like, yo, just remember all the years, all the BS,
The
all
sweat
the
equity, everything.
all the blood, all that. Remember all that. That's how you got to understand this. That's the reason why it takes you 7 minutes to diagnose a problem that takes other people 2 hours, 4 hours. How valuable is that to a business owner that doesn't have time?
It's what we talked about Monday or last week too. I mean, that value prop, but just getting away from even the buzz phrases. Just what is knowing your value? What is it? And it's hard because there's so much out there. It's so easy to compare. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. It's so easy to get mentally down on yourself, and it's most of it is a facade. That's what you hear Kevin and I talking about. Like, the truth always pierces through. So focus on what is true, right? In your value prop and get that out there, and that will resonate. You don't the whole fake it till you make it.
You don't have to.
Yeah, even if you literally haven't ever made a placement in recruiting, there's still a leverage. You could still become valuable in 4 weeks of talking to candidates and knowing the market in a certain area and a certain all that. If their jobs are open, you can already become valuable to a
Easy.
manager.
2 healthcare recruiters, okay? One has 2 years of experience and made placements. Another one hasn't. You have to stand out from the person that has 2 years, okay? What are you willing to do that this person with 2 years won't?
Yeah.
How can you describe what you are willing to do, how you're willing to work your face off? Because you're like,
let's put that.
Go ahead.
Whoever's listening, put some of the ideas in the comments. I want to hear what people got to say about that, because that's exactly it, right? How do you stand out from people that got more experience than you, right? How can you get the manager's attention?
Man, I remember me. I remember those days. That wasn't actually that long ago for me. Technically, it was about 4.5 years ago. Yeah. And I remember I would promise things. I would try things.
Oh, the amount of trouble people will get into from over promising because they don't know their value, man.
Dude.
Ooh.
15%. I'll take 10%, 12%.
6.
Hey, just get me in the door. Give me 4 roles. I'll get them all in a month for 1 fee. Like, whatever. I'd say whatever.
Yeah, one of our best success stories, he came to me with one client. He was doing this as a side hustle. His one client was at 6% with him because he didn't have a system. He didn't have a plan. He didn't have confidence and everything else. We turned that around. We got him his now best client within a week. And he's got multiple revenue streams from them, it's crazy. But, build I don't know, 600,000 last year, raise those rates from 6 to 22%. Confidence, systems, like that's it.
Look at what Nicole said. So this is, yes. Okay.
That's it.
So here's how I stood out.
Because he did this. That's what he did.
So here's how I stood out. Because I was searching for blockchain. And I forgot dumbly that it's not about the placements, right? It's about the people. So instead of talking about, the fact that I hadn't made any placements in blockchain, I was like, but wait, I've been in blockchain. I know about Bitcoin. I know about decentralization. I know about consensus algorithms. I know about L2s, L1. Like I could talk my way around any recruiter that's in blockchain, I bet. And then I just led into that, my industry knowledge, and then everything changed.
Yeah, Nicole, spot on. That's it. You can lean into that, like what you already know, because it was true, Kevin. Yes. Right? You just shared what you knew, and it was true. You didn't have to lie and rent a Lamborghini or do anything else like that, right? Although we might rent a Lamborghini in Miami. We'll see. Well, maybe we'll but like you didn't have to do any of that stuff because recruiting is hard enough. Enough people are struggling with hiring. That's why everyone bitches about it.
Yeah.
So
the art of recruiting, the art of copywriting is not about lying.
No, it's about being true. It's about dancing, willing to be able to embrace the dance and the back and forth and the whole thing. Like you just got to embrace it. And then that's the hurdle to overcome. It's just embracing the challenge and the hours and the nuance and I thought I said this, but the candidate heard it this way. And same with the client and all that. It's like all that stuff is going to happen. So what can you control? Well, you can control how much you spend on a tech stack. You can control how much you get out of it. You control, in terms of the advice that you get and who you listen to, and not hiring people for the sake of hiring and not getting an office just because you think, well, I own a business, so I need status and to legitimize myself with an office. It's like, no. Do you want to say you have a business or do you want to run a profitable cash flow business, right? Yep. Those are 2 different choices and 2 different paths, right? I recommend picking the second one.
All right. So we're at the 30-minute mark. Whoever's still here. Yes. Yes. Exactly. Yes. But not sure if this was what we asked, but as a way I was able to set myself apart from a veteran recruiter was explaining my availability. Yeah, there you go. It's the little things. And I talk about this again. It could be a deliverable. It could be maybe you write an ironclad contract better than anybody else. That's a unique value proposition. Maybe, again, to your speed, maybe you actually are faster and you have tangible evidence that you can show them that for somebody that looks like them, right? But 30 minutes in, what are we talking about? All that we teach at Digital Recruiter, and there's an esoteric word, there's a buzzword, and then there's the way that we say it, right? But all that we're talking about at the foundation of you not needing another freaking tool, in my opinion, you either need more learning or more coaching on this, and you can practice this. Empathy. Empathy is the most powerful tool at your disposal when it comes to understanding your hero, okay? But empathy is a buzzword. Empathy has been this word that we've used in so many ways, and a lot of people take it differently. So the way that we talk about it at Digital Recruiter is we talk about people's worldviews. We want to understand people's worldviews and where they came from and how they got to understand what they got to understand. Because the more that we do, the more that we'll be able to speak directly to them and not assume, right? Not assume what we have to say, not assume what they want to hear, because we're just using empathy and our genuine curiosity and knowing who they are and what they do, and then using empathy and worldviews as a research tool, your genuine curiosity with finding out what's going on with you. How can I alleviate your pain? How can I make your life easier?
Right here. They may forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. Anyway, that's what Eric said. I mean, everything you just described, to seek to understand at all times. And it's with candidates, it's with clients. You know, I see people that are really hard on candidates. I see people that are really hard on clients. It's finding that harmony, right? It's never 100% one way or the other, right? It's reducing the over promises, and it takes mental energy. And as you said, brain calories to understand that. And there's going to be times where you don't quite know what to say, or it's going to take you an extra half an hour to craft that response and all that. That's where like that help and that support comes in, right? If your agency provides that for you, great. If they don't, like, dude, that's what I have with my team all the time, with you and Christina and Ross and Keely. And I've had different coaches and operations, and I had coaches getting into this industry. I had managers and great coaches getting into recruiting and staffing. Like, if you don't have that, you owe it to yourself, because this is damn hard without in general, and it's way harder without that. And yes, we're biased. I have a coaching program. I just also just have lived it, and I've seen it, and I've tried to do it all myself, and I've done it with support, and it is way more fun when you let people in and collab. And that's why I went from a solopreneur to like building out a team, because it's more fun. You can build together, and we've seen that community effect, right? You get to kind of link arms with other people, other recruiters that are like-minded, other owners that are like-minded. Gives you that confidence to face your business development, your sales, those interactions. Like, hey, did I do this right? Did I handle it right? Like, yeah, that's the best you could have done. Or maybe you could have done this a little bit differently. Or did you think about that? Like, oh yeah, I did do that, right? And like, that is how we keep going every single day, and not just get weighted down by all the BS that our clients and candidates will throw our way, because they're going to throw it your way. Right. But it's just being able to, like, how do you arm yourself? And then how do you recharge, right? In the video game, right? How do you recharge your life, right? You get that shield and all that stuff. And like, that's kind of how do you approach it. It's the only way to make it in this grind.
I think so much of that has come easy for me because I understand that my identity is as the helper. Like, that's it. I'm there to help.
The helper, the matchmaker.
You can't help everybody. Why? No. What's that one thing we talk about all the time, dude? Those three things that got to be right: right place, right person, right time. What do we say at the beginning? Some people haven't lived with the pain of not having that person in the seat long enough. They haven't worn their hat long enough. They haven't pulled resources from other places, which are making their boss annoyed, which is now making them have to have that pain. Okay, now I got to figure it out, right? There's so much of like how many times have we put Scotch tape on something that probably requires super glue, right? Right? Okay. So how many hiring managers do y'all know using Scotch tape when they could have y'all as super glue? So it takes time. It takes time sometimes. And that's the process again of understanding human emotions. That's why this is so easy for us, in my opinion, because we can literally sit on the other side of the desk of the Zoom, and we can, like, there's nonverbal cues on a face. When you start to really dive into this stuff, understanding your hero, I can't explain how it just becomes so easy because you understand how they feel and where they're coming from. So it's like, yo, you're almost on a call. You're almost like, hey, you're not ready. You know, this is not the right time for you.
Well, that's it. You save so much
You
time.
know?
You say, and that's the thing, like you save so much time that frees up for better things to allow and to come into your world. And that's where the revenue, that's where the profitability goes up.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's what it is. You got to figure out what's holding you back to be able to launch forward. And that's why when people talk to me like, well, what's my ROI? When can I get results? Like, well, we got to get in there and get rid of some of the bottlenecks first.
Yes.
And then come up with a plan and the vision. And then we can accurately predict where those opportunities are going to be and when you can be able to close. Right. Like we got to do the work first. But if you do it, you're going to get there. You're going to make the money back plus some.
Yeah.
But you got to just know, like, all right, it's a mess. I gotta clean it up.
Yep.
Right. And there's not a cookie cutter path to getting there.
Good segue. Good segue. There is not a cookie cutter path to getting there. So let me ask everybody out there a question who's still here with us. Let me ask y'all a question. So your things are a little bit stagnant in your inbox. You need to make some placements. The money that's coming in, it's kind of dried up. Things are a little bit slow. Tell me this: Do you think it would make a lot more sense to research, some AI lead gen tool? Or what's that next LinkedIn recruiter? Where can I source more people? Where are more candidates? Or do you think it would make more sense to understand a little bit more about the person the people you're trying to reach, right?
That's such a good point.
What's their external problem, right?
Oh, dude, it's such
I got you. Real quick, guys. Everybody at home, okay? External, internal, and philosophical problems, okay? So your choices can be, I'm gonna look for this next tech stack, or you can come listen to what Digital Recruiter's teaching. And here's the things that we're teaching, right? Let's focus on one thing: time. And an external problem that your hero, the people you want to reach, is time. How many of them don't have enough time? It's working against them. They never have enough. They got to get these things done, right? That's an external problem, okay? But the internal problem is that they're always worried about not getting the right things. Are they even good enough? They haven't had enough time to get these things done. You never know what's next, right? Right? They're limited on time. Okay. That's the internal problem. The philosophical problem is social media. The problem is you see all your friends making placements all the time. And you're like, what am I doing wrong?
Well, here's the thing. Is it the tool or is it me?
There you go.
And a lot of people stop at it's the tool.
That's right.
I need more tools without stopping to think, is it actually me? Could my messaging be better? Do I know this candidate market? Did I qualify the rec well enough to actually get good messaging to candidates? Right? To actually make it stand out. Like there's so many things people just skip the step of not self-auditing or not self-scouting. What could you actually be doing better? Right? Any of the best pro football teams, what's the first thing they do in the offseason? They don't go plan out who they're going to sign that's new. They evaluate what they got. How did their own team perform? Are there ways to get better? Are there people that are kind of hopeless? They got to cut, or maybe they got to cut because they're too expensive. But there's rookies that's like, hey, we're going to rely on this person next season. They showed promise. We're going to invest more time and training and resources into that person and take it to the next step. Right? Like that's how it operates. Right? Is it the tool or is it me? I think that's a question you should always be asking yourself, right? Is there a better way to craft this message? Do I have enough intel to do enough here? Like, what are the responses I'm getting? Is there a way to kind of stand out a little bit better, right? Or to tempt this, right? Or to kind of create temptation around the role, right? I mean, I'm seeing it all day, and I'm training new recruiters that are absolutely killing it with source. I mean, they're knocking out 5-6 recs a week with multiple submittals for each and all that, and they have it on autopilot. And some of the time, like they have some automation, they have some manual stuff, but it's like, is my profile where it needs to be? The messaging, like, am I resonating? Am I relevant to the people I'm reaching out to?
And why does that matter, y'all? It's because, again, it's what we teach in Digital Recruiter. There are 4 principles of business systems. I learned these since I was 12 years old. I remember my dad putting the book in my hands where I learned it. Nothing has changed. I don't even want to say what year that was, but nothing's changed since the 90s, y'all. Okay. 4 principles of business systems. You ready? Here they are. Nobody gets to work outside these. Nobody. Get them to notice you. Get them to pay attention to you. Get them to trust you. Convert that trust into money. There is nothing that four things, y'all. That's it. You don't get to work outside this, right? That's where empathy, that's where worldviews come in. How are you going to get them to notice you if all you're talking about is you? How are you going to get them to pay attention to you if all you're worried about is your tech stack? How are you going to get them to trust you if you're not even talking to them? You don't even know who you're talking to. And how the heck are you going to convert that trust into money over and over with the same person? You're not, because you're working transactionally. Yeah. You're working for desperation. You got to work for I want to say this. You can work long-term and short-term. You can make placements tomorrow and you can make placements a month, 2 months, 3 months. You can have both. If somebody's telling you that you can't have both, that's a lie.
Yeah.
We will show you how you can have both.
I love it. I love it. You're so right. And it's to what Kevin's talking about with the system here. I made some updates to it because it's really sales and automation and it's content marketing. And this is how you can have both, right? You build the plan, you build the foundation, you have outreach set up. And with automation, I mean, dude, that changed your life overnight. Right? And so many other people. But then that content, if you get the value prop down, your ICP down, your niche, your vertical, you're highlighting that one post. And I've seen it happen. People make their first post and they get 250,000 in recs, like ideal client, everything else. I've seen people, it might be 10 posts in, right? But does it matter as long as you put in the work to get it done? Yeah. And you know you're going to get it, whether it's the first post, the second post, the 10th, the 20th, the 50th. Why wouldn't you get there? Why wouldn't you do what it takes to get there? Right. If you know it'll work. Right? Because otherwise we want it easy. No, but if 100%. You want it easy, you're going to pay that toll down the road at some way, shape, or form.
And that's why, again, we talk about the approach, like that starting block, right? The 100-meter sprinter, that starting block is so important. And that's why I harp and I say the same thing over and over. And as we're 42 minutes in, it should make more sense again, right? We're talking about fundamentals, the 3 fundamentals of selling. People don't buy things. People don't like being sold. People buy things for emotional, not rational reasons. And then once sold, people have to satisfy those emotional decisions with logic.
Dude, and I don't want to say, I hate selling.
I hate selling.
I love selling problems, and I love showing people that I can solve their problems.
Me too.
Right? But the selling, no. This is like it's funny when I hop on calls with people. They talk to other agencies or coach or whatever, and like they're expecting me to sell them, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if you're a fit for this. Like,
what do you have to sell me?
What do you got? Like,
I'm actually here to talk to you. I don't.
Yeah. As a coach, if I'm going to work with you for 3 months, like
dude, that's wait, real quick. Dude, no.
Yeah.
Great point. Time out. Literally, y'all. How on earth would you have anything to sell somebody that you don't even know? Hold on, like 1 second. Think of the beginning of any call. Like, really think about this, y'all. And it just hit me, like really, 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 really hit me. How on earth could you have the audacity to get on a call and sell somebody when you don't even know what their problem is? You don't even know what they need, right? You have to find that out first. And let me tell you, I swear, before I understood what I understood probably 3.5 years ago, I would come on calls and I would come with my solution and I'm trying to ram it down your throat because that's all I had. If you flip that with genuine curiosity and that you want to understand or hear from this person, and by the way, I need to for this call to go the way it should. Like, in order for this to, like, I want, like, I'm genuinely curious about wanting to help you. How can I make your life easier?
And it might cost nothing.
It might cost nothing.
It could be that call, and then that's it. And then they're on their way. But you could still leave a positive impression and everything else. Like, you don't need to.
You don't need to sell everybody.
Because number one, you're not going to. That's true. So it's a stupid aim to have anyway, or pointless. Right? So I just don't have that. When people are like, how do you do all this and you're everywhere in a couple businesses? I'm like, well, I'm just relentless about getting on the phone and just learning. And if I have enough calls, like, I'll figure the rest out.
And that's the beautiful thing about the way we teach it. That's why we're the digital recruiter. Okay. I think it's at the top of one of our modules. The online world has completely changed the way you can sell. The art of recruiting has been changed because of the online world. It used to be that all you would focus on is them.
And you could do it the old way.
You
it can work.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
It could work.
100%.
But there's a whole new opportunity and new frontier.
It's called you. You can add you. You can add your personality. You're UVP, right? That's why we have LinkedIn, right?
For all people, you can make fun of it all day, right?
100%.
LinkedIn this and all that.
100%.
And I get that. It's easy to poke fun. It's easy to make fun. It's easy to be on the sidelines. It's easy to be sarcastic and all that. Fall into the crowd. I saw a hilarious post come across my feed from a guy this week. That's somehow a recruiter bragging about the fact that, well, some people post stuff and watch out because they might be selling you something.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Like, what was this, kindergarten? Like, what are we doing here? Right? Like, yes. Like, okay, get in your little bubble, talk to candidates only where it's safe. Like, the big boys and girls are going to go over here and be like, yeah, I got solutions.
Yeah.
I want to help you solve your problems. This is what I think about the problems.
Well,
if you need some help with that, come on, let's talk. Let's see if we can help you figure it out. How is anything ever built? How do we have any of this stuff? It's because of sales. Sales is everywhere. Sales is a constant in our life, in our world. It's been there before we were alive. It'll be there when we're gone, right? Yeah. So stop fighting and hating sales. Sales just is. Just start embracing it. How can you have it work for you and be fulfilling and tell the truth and solve real problems and have your market know it and feel good about yourself when your head hits the pillow every night, right? Like, that stuff is hard to do, but it's worthwhile. Right. But being scared of sales, that's not admirable. Poking fun about it, it's not admirable. Yeah, I get hit up with automation all the time. I don't bitch about it on LinkedIn because, like, whatever, right? That person's trying, obviously tried and fail. That's fine. Right. Like, they're still trying.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and now it might be a lazy try and they got stuff to improve on. That's fine. Right. But at least they're trying. Right. And you're not better than the person in your inbox that, maybe messed up the automation or forgot to change the automation name and the first name and all that. And, like, the stuff's funny. And I share it with my team sometimes because guess what? I made the mistake too. Right.
I like people that try.
Humility. That's what I'm saying.
I do.
Have some humility.
Like, I like people that go for it. It may suck, but I know how hard it is. And you know what? If people like you, they're probably more likely to buy from you, right? Right. But let me say that differently, though. So
do you try to be liked?
No, you're right. But let me say it different.
I just had people. We just have to clarify that.
Perfect segue. If people don't like you, they won't buy from you.
And I'm okay with that.
Now, 100%. Now think about those messages, recruiters, that you get in your inbox from those candidates that just send you a resume and tell them to find you a job. The likelihood of you finding them a job, right? Okay. So when we talk like, know, trust, it's not like as in like the cool kids table, not viral, not, that's not what we mean. That is not what we mean. The importance of like, know, and trust is when your prospect, when your hiring managers can view you as a person, not someone just trying to sell to them, right? But somebody that's relatable, right? That's the advantage that content creators have over people that are trying to sell. We're not trying to sell, right? When you create content and get it out in the world, you allow people to see inside your life. It's a window, right? It's a what? A worldview. You give people a glimpse of your worldview and you let them decide ahead of time if they like you or not. Yeah. This means by the time they get to your sales page, they've made a decision if they're going to want to buy based on what you tell them now. Yeah. Now think about that. Now they like you. Now you sit across from them and you genuinely curious about their problems. And then you get to then you get to play therapist for 30 minutes, let them solve their problem. Okay. And then now you get to be you. When everything that you do lacks you, then you're not giving people the chance to buy. You're just selling them and you're putting yourself at a disadvantage to all content creators that are giving a person the option and the opportunity to buy.
And that's so perfect. We have to cut that up and post it. I'll break it down a little bit because you broke it down perfectly. I'll give some examples of what to look for. You're going to be able to take this and see who's posting almost out of desperation, and who's posting with confidence, right? Who's
Correct.
posting
Correct.
because they're worried about groupthink, and
Yes.
who's posting because they are confident in themselves and what they're bringing to the table, right? That's what you want to start looking for. And we all know those people in our lives. It's like, man, I don't agree with everything that person's saying, but like that guy or that lady, they know where they stand, and I respect that. We
I
all have
respect.
those people.
There you
Like
go.
respect, right? Look at who you respect, not who's trying to. Typically, they're not trying to be liked almost ever, right? But they have done the work to know their values.
Yep.
They've articulated their values, right? They lived them. They failed them at times, right? They've sharpened that iron, right? They engage with the world and
Mhm.
this life, and it's not just behind a screen. They're not taking a script from someone else of like they should believe or anything else. They've really thought through what that should look like. And that
Yeah.
is what you got to figure out.
Yeah.
That ultimately is what we do in the digital recruiter.
You have to kind of like forget all that traditional sales stuff you forgot. I mean, you remember, right? Like, and it's good. It's good because you're gonna start getting messages like, Kevin, it's like you're in my head. Kevin, you're speaking directly to me, right? And it's because I, like Clark, understand that the most important person in the world is whoever I'm talking to at the moment.
Yeah.
It's Clark right now, right? And you need to think that because they definitely think that, right? They definitely think that. And you need to prove to them that you can guide them to wherever they want to go. That's what the call's for. That's why you're getting their information, because they are the hero and you are the guide. That's why if you disappoint, annoy, or insult them, it's over. That's why that message that candidate sends you with a resume telling them to find you a job that insults you, it's over. They will never get your services, right?
But this is the key piece. They do that. How you initially want to react versus how you learn how to respond to that person makes all the difference.
That is correct.
Right? I don't have time. You don't get how we operate. Instead of just taking a step back, this candidate has no idea.
Yeah.
They're looking for a new job. They're fearful, right? Maybe they lost their job. Maybe they're about to lose their job. They got to move or whatever else. And they just have no idea how agency recruiting works because guess what? None of us knew how agency recruiting works before we got into it. So that makes 100% of the people that have ever existed. And so just remember that. It's easy to lose sight of how far you've actually come and how much you know about this process and how little other people know about what you're an expert at.
Yep.
Right? So remember that. So how you approach that candidate. Hey, I appreciate your message. I appreciate the time it took to reach out, even if they automated it, right? You got on some list somewhere.
Yep.
You could give them some feedback. I see you have this. I would maybe Google like recruiters that know that place for marketers or salespeople or engineers, or here's a couple ideas. Like figure out some of those templates, those responses that you can have to people like that, to those types of candidates. What's
Ooh,
the little piece of
like
value that you can do
Okay.
and send it and
I like
send
that.
it and send it
I like
and
that.
add value. You don't think the universe is going to reward you for that?
Okay.
Right? If you do that over and over and over and over again, right? That's how you earn your luck.
A little tactical value. Okay.
That's a whole other topic.
Back around psychographics and worldviews, right?
Yeah.
So many people that we talk to, they're thinking demographics, they're thinking race, they're thinking gender, income level, education level, right?
Gotta think.
What do all those things miss? That's right. They miss emotions. They miss emotions. When you break up your audience, break them up into what do they daydream about, right? What do they fear, right? Who do they look up to? Who do they avoid? What offers are they seeing in front of their face daily? How many recruiters' messages are they receiving? Because when you start to think about that, you'll start to think of how you can come in their inbox differently. How your message can resonate with this person because you're thinking about their worldview. Because you're not breaking them up into this 24-year-old white person that just finished high school. That doesn't like I have no appeal to that. Again, we talk about this all the time. That 25-year-old hiring manager has the same problem as a 65-year-old hiring manager. They don't have enough time to place that person in the seat that you need to fill. So that's why psychographics, right? Thinking holistically about the emotional appeal of it is the better approach to this.
And then figure out how you can systemize, because everything you just said is on point.
Sure.
How can you make a system where you get people to consistently reveal where they're at. And
Thank
from once they do that, then you filter out who is a fit for you to work with and who isn't. And everyone's on a sliding scale, right? But how can I offer value to every person on that scale? Right? Someone can't afford my services. Here's a podcast. Here's a couple LinkedIn lives. Go learn more. This stuff is free.
you.
I can only do the courses, here's the courses. Go figure it out. I'm ready for the live coaching, and I want you and Kevin to whip me into shape. Okay, this is the mastermind, right? I don't have time to create content. Can you do it for me? Okay, here's our done for you content. That's okay. But work on building the value add. That's why recruiters are doing resume services and all that, right? Trying to figure out different ways they can help the people they interact daily. I love stuff like that. Start at $25 a resume. Do it for free and get some testimonials. Whatever it is, that's a whole other episode, by the way, of like kind of building up the ladder and building confidence into your pricing. Just figure that out and just get into it. Add the value, create something tangible, create tangible value, figure out ways to do that, right? But stop focusing on what it has to look like and focus on the heart of what is going on and the motivators and the emotions and everything we're talking about, like dig into the heart. And it's scary because people are sarcastic, and as people get put on blast and go viral and get canceled and all that, you know what? F that. Yeah. Like, you don't have to do anything crazy like that. You just get into the heart. And some people are uncomfortable with that. That's okay. Guess what? A lot of people are dying for that type of connection. And that
if we bought things with logic, would there be chocolate or cigarettes, or would there be what would there be, dude?
I'd still hope there'd be chocolate cake.
There probably would. Okay, I would.
Chocolate mousse. Come on.
At least
you don't get this body without a little chocolate mousse. Yeah.
but man,
James, it'll be. By the way, James, the live will still be up on my profile after this, and on YouTube. I think we recorded it on YouTube as well. Digital Recruiter YouTube channel. Go ahead.
Nah, but again, back to how people, I really want you guys to understand this part. If you do, I swear everything starts to make sense. Like, again, getting back to the commercials and imagery, like how do they sell their products and services? Beautiful, stylish. It's imagery, right? It's emotion. They're trying to get emotion out.
Oh, dude, we're gonna have fun next week after the Super Bowl commercials.
Oh my God! Oh,
we're gonna have some fun on Monday.
Good point.
Yeah. Sorry, I got excited. I had to say it.
All right, no, it got me excited because yes, I would love to do. Yes.
If you're listening to that, watch some commercials on Sunday. We're gonna have fun with it on Monday. We're gonna. I don't know if we're even allowed to authorize, like, if we're allowed to share anything or whatever. Maybe we'll put links in the chat, but that'll be a fun one on Monday.
Nah, but yeah, no, we sell to the heart, not the head. We try to, we call it tugging the heartstrings. That's all we're doing, right? We're tempting. We're emotional appeal. That's our approach. Because again, everybody should know this. You've been at a job. You want to be validated. You want to be seen. You want to be heard. So often, so many of these hiring managers are doing things where they don't get to see the end result. They don't get to understand how what they do serves the bottom line, right? It's like, it's so abstract that
everyone wants to matter.
Everyone wants to matter. A person's search for meaning is purpose. Viktor Frankl, right? They all have dreams. They all have fears. They all have nightmares. We all create motion off of emotions. That's the movement. Like, everything I'm about to do today is off of emotion. Everything. The more that you get back to that, everything about sales, recruiting, marketing, your wife, the next movie you're going to see, it just all makes sense. This is like life stuff we're teaching. Anyway, I digress.
But it's what creates the revenue.
That's what creates the revenue.
It's what creates the revenue. So it's not the tool. The one thing is like this. You figure this out, you save time. If you can scale and the content, all that, get the heart of it out, then you have more time to fix your systems and to evolve and actually build the business. And you can do more in the same amount of time or less time. And that's what matters. If you stuck around this long, I know it's 3:00. I can give 5 minutes because Timothy, about 45 minutes ago, said, I would love a roast of our business. I have his profile up. I'm going to do a quick scroll through. So it's going to be a little treat for whoever.
All right, let's see. Okay.
All right.
Well, I mean, you do have 2 ex-comedians here, so
yeah. I don't know what he meant by roast of his profile. I don't really. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if we need to or not. We'll see. Can you guys see Timothy's page?
Clark's nicer than me. What?
Oh, I don't know about that. Let's see. Add to stage. There we go. Here we go. All right. Remote sales recruitment. Okay, well, that's already a solid start. I have some idea of what you're doing. We link forward-thinking companies with remote sales professionals. Then you have the industries. Already a great start.
Mhm.
CEO. Are you a one-man CEO? What do we got here? What do we got here? Are we doing the one-man CEO game, or we got a little bit? Might look at saying founder versus CEO.
Or, and I did this. This is what worked with my one-man business. I called myself the director of recruiting
That
because I
also
was.
works. Well, founder and director of recruiting, right? That
Or
can
there
work
you
as
go.
well.
There
Yep.
you go.
So I would look at that. But you have co-founder and CEO, so I get it. I get it.
So never mind.
But why is that important? But why? No. And
I'll say
Timothy, go ahead.
Technically, I don't want to be the D word, but technically be a CEO, you have to have a board, right? There has to be executives, right? So you can't technically be a CEO. And I'm going to say this, here's why it matters, because any business person worth their chops knows that, and they're not going to take you as seriously. Just keeping it real with you.
No, it's
I did, and I want to say, and it took a business person telling me, dude, not the way. Here's what you're doing, and I was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. So you might not even know. So yeah,
that's it. Well, he asked for it, right?
And he asked
that's
like true. That's true.
And we're trying to help transform people, one step at a time. Those little things. Co-founder, and director of recruiting here. Founder at Nordlink.
Yeah.
That'll work perfectly.
But real quick.
I like this. This is good. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
The only thing I would add is if you've made some placements, Timothy, is put those in here, right? Help this company add 10 salespeople, this company 20, right? Name maybe the number of people, the number of placements, and maybe the company like size and industry, right? Of kind of the clients that you want to get more of. And that can kind of show people, give some tangible results that you've had that they can kind of start to put it, plant that seed in their brain. They can kind of talk to you about it, or, oh, you solved this problem or solved that. Like, how did that go? And it opens up the door to talk about your process. Go ahead.
And if you can link that tangible result back to the about section.
Yes.
So
that's what I'm saying. Putting it in the about section.
No, I meant because he said on his hook line, he says his UVP, his unique value proposition, as that they do it for remote work only. So I would find some way, because it sounds like, that's your niche, right? Remote work only. For this is try to really emphasize that you do it for whatever tangible result you is for remote work only. But anyway.
Yeah, I don't speak whatever language we got over on here, so I can't really audit your content. I can do the translation, but that'll probably. But I think there's some good blend here. But again, talking about some of the practical, useful, what do hiring managers not know that you can share with them, or what do you wish that they knew? And start talking about that, and then just stay consistent with the posting. But it looks like you're off to a strong start. Let's see how many connections you got. And then go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I would just make sure that you're connecting with the target managers every day, manually or with automation, right? Like, just make sure that you're connecting with this audience, right? Fill out the about section a little bit more. Keep talking about that stuff with content. But all in all, like, you're off to a good start here.
And the one thing I would say, and for everybody at home, right? Remember that whenever somebody goes to your profile, they have no idea where to go, right? They have no idea. Because so let's say you're a recruiter. What action do you want somebody to take? Do you want them to DM you? Do you want them to go to your features section and sign up for your email list? Do you want them to go to your about section and see your phone number? Do you want them to go to your headline because you put your email there? Where do you want them to go? So perhaps either in your banner or your headline.
He's got his Calendly here.
Okay.
And then maybe in the featured section too.
Right? Like there's maybe just a little bit more about where it is that you want somebody that's coming to your page that you want to sell. Where is it that you want them to go to do that? So maybe in your headline, you say, not my details, my call detail, my phone number. What am I trying to say? Oh my God, I'm tired.
Well, I think he's done it here. He's like, book a meeting here. He could do it in his featured section. I think in here, he could be like, if you want to know how we could help, your team, or you build out your team, here, shoot me an email, call my cell.
But very sincerely, and I'm saying this on purpose, because like you have to be oftentimes very direct. So to his point on the about section, even just putting that line like, email me here for inquiries, will help prompt people.
Keep it simple. Yeah.
Keep it simple. Yeah.
All right, man. That was good. It's a good way to end it. This was
I mean, I was
dude, we got you fired up,
I
man.
was
We got you
dead.
fired up. You were.
And you can
You
see
were.
I'm dead. Like I'm
Nah, you're good. Get some rest this weekend. You and the boys and the family get better. This was a great week of the
this was
lives. We'll be back Monday. I'm excited to. It'll be fun to watch the game. This is kind of an action-packed Super Bowl Sunday night, so there's
my
a
wa-
lot going on. Yeah,
I mean, I'm a football addict, but then my wife was like, "Hey, what are we doing for the Super Bowl?" I was like,
yeah,
"The Super Bowl is this weekend?"
yeah. I know they can. You know what? I can say in this case, Taylor Swift is doing us a favor, right? Because she's got the ladies on board and watching the game. So
There you go.
what's
That's
wrong
true.
with that? What's wrong with that? So
And just I'm helping everybody out. You can say thank you, DM me thank you. If Valentine's Day is coming up, you're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome, and you're welcome.
yeah, don't forget those flowers. All right. This is good stuff.
Yep.
I got the link in there. If you check out the link tree to book a call, learn more about us. I got stuff in my featured section about our mastermind, about our courses, all that good stuff.
James, Sophia, Nicole, Bradley, Timothy, Eric. Thank y'all. Riley, thank y'all so much for hanging out with us.
I love it. This was fun.
Appreciate y'all.
All right,
Clark.
man. Hey, always a pleasure, my friend.
Always, brother.
All right. We'll see you.